four-armed little blue alien rushes through the tropical undergrowth. He can't believe he has to do this again. He just caught this cousin last week, but that bumbling idiot back at the house just had to meddle with things. Jumba had originally designed Skip to leap forward 10 minutes in time, but due to an error, the little purple creature dropped you 10 years into the future. It had been painstakingly troublesome catching him the first time. Now he was loose again. Stitch can vividly remember the scene back at the lab. I'm thinking I have fixed experiment 089. It was simply a matter of reconfiguring his tachyon structure. Tachyon structure. But before the fat, four-eyed purple alien could finish, he dropped the creature's containment case, setting Skip free with his power set to a new untested level. All that means is that instead of staying home in his nice warm bed, Stitch had to go out in the jungle, tromping through the underbush in the dead of night, looking for someone he'd already caught. Naga Butitha, muttered the little blue creature. Just to vent some of his frustration, he tries to keep the muttering down to a minimum, not wanting to alert the fugitive, misspellings, love it, to his presence. But if Jumba's tinkering worked, Skip should be fairly harmless by now. He finally comes across the little creature's tracks and scurries after him. His cousins could be cunning, but most haven't had time to learn the lay of the land, so Stitch is able to figure out Skip's most likely destination and take a shortcut. The little blue alien settles down the tree. He's good now, but he still loves moments like this. Moments where he can just let the old instincts out for some exercise. Wink, wink. While he has time, he checks his backpack, making sure his capture gear is all accounted for, and his emergency snack supply is intact. A rustling noise in the undergrowth catches his attention, and the alien crouches, ready to pounce. As he leaps towards his target, he shouts, "Agatha!" ordering it to halt. Skip, on the other hand, just hears the fierce war cry and sees the blue blur hurtling at him. Hurtling. Yeah, because, this person needs to know how to spell. The little purple monster screams and panics. There is a flash of light, and the two aliens simply blink out of existence. Stitch moans softly, as he gradually comes awake. Something happened last night, he's sure, but he's confused as to what exactly. Somehow, that little Fink must have got the jump on him and knocked him out. It's already morning. It takes a few seconds for it to sink into the alien's fogged mind that something is very wrong here. It's cold, far colder than it should be on Hawaii. And while he can hear the ocean, this doesn't resemble any part of the island Stitch is familiar with. And the little blue alien had explored a good-sized portion of this new home by now. Something is definitely wrong here. He looks out over the rocky terrain and the rather spotty scrub grasses and wonders if that idiot Jumba had turned Skip into a teleporter rather than a time traveler. Stitch just sighs and shoulders his pack. Nothing to do but find the little pest. He had to have come through with Stitch. That's just how his power worked. Last time he had a reset function. All Stitch had to do was find him and hope like hell it still worked. The little alien trudges along, wondering why it's so cold. He thought Earth was a hot place. He shivers, but doesn't give up. He can see tracks in the ground, but he's not sure if it's from the purple alien or something else. He bends low, sniffing at the ground. Giggity. It's a strange scent. Not anything he ever encountered on Earth before, but it wasn't Skip. Maybe it was another experiment. He growls softly, crouching low. Giggity, even though the grass isn't nearly tall enough for him to hide. Way up in the sky, something spots the scurrying blue shape below. He hovers for a moment, wondering what this new thing is. He's never seen anything like it. Randyfloss? He muttered as he circles, but no. The ears must resemble a rabbit's, but it doesn't move like one. The black form pulls into a steep dive with a harumph, and spirals down at the creature. At the very last second, he pulls up, letting the wind from his wings bowl the little blue alien over into the grass. The black dragon snorts with laughter as he watches the thing tumble across the field. It's small, smaller than a human, and it's got too many arms. It must be some foreign dragon. As the blue thing scrambles to its feet, it spills its pack accidentally, scattering the contents all over the ground. The dragon rocks again with laughter to see the little blue thing scrambling for its stuff. He laughs so hard, he accidentally snorts fire, a situation akin to squirting milk out of your nose in the cafeteria. As the fireballs arcs overhead, Stitch hits the ground, dropping most of his things once more. The heat even manages to melt the chocolate bars he had been trying to gather up, but the little alien's eyes narrow on the great black figure. He decides he's got more to worry about than the embarrassing brown stains in his fur. This must be some other experiment, decides the heroic little alien. He doesn't know what it's doing here, but he knows it has to be caught. He looks about for his gear, but most of it is too far away to be any good. He stands up, stretching to his full height, and glares across at the creature. He thumps his chest and shouts at the monster, "Fabuga!" daring it to come after him. Toothless snorts as he sees the creature stand ready to challenge him. This little thing is brave. That makes it rethink. Maybe it's not a dragon after all. Most dragons would run when faced with a much bigger foe, and whatever language it was talking in wasn't dragonese. That's for sure. But if the little thing wants a fight, it'll get a fight. The dragon charges forward, all four legs pumping in a mad rush towards the target. He sweeps his wing to try and knock the little pest to the ground, but the alien leaps into the air, barely clearing the flashing wind. Wing. It lands on the broad, scaly back, trying to punch his way through the tough, scaly hide. Toothless just hisses in frustration as he lashes his tail over his back, sweeping Stitch off. The blue critter is back on his feet in an instant and scrambling back towards the dragon again. Toothless leads in with a wing sweep. And again Stitch jumps up and over the move, but this time the dragon brings its tough skull around in a surprisingly forceful headbutt, knocking the breath from the creature and sending him sprawling. Toothless stands over the little blue thing. He kind of wants to keep playing, so he eyes the creature, grinning like a cat. One clawed hand comes up to bat at it when the dragon nostrils flare. Something smells good. It's an odd smell, something he'd never come across before, but it's oddly enticing. The dragon leans forward. The smell seems to be coming from the blue thing. He takes another deep sniff, but not from all of him. It's apparently the brown stuff smeared on his fur. Stitch grumbles to himself as he catches his breath. If he had his gear, he'd make sure this overgrown gecko would pay. Learn to spell. He opens his eyes just in time to see a great big maw gaping open before him and a pink tongue slapping him in the face. The dragon's tongue carries along, slurping up his face, leaving the little alien spluttering with impotent rage. Toothless pauses for a second, trying to place the taste. It's not like anything he'd ever had, not like the fish or rabbits that make up his normal diet. This was sweet, but not the same. Sweet as the jam he's stolen. Scrumlush, he muttered the black-scaled behemoth before he leaned down to slurp at more of the brown stuff. The alien tries to struggle back to his feet, only to have the snout push him back down onto the ground, before that black tongue slips across his chest. Stitch hesitates. It feels good to be licked like this. Maybe he shouldn't be so quick to jump back into the fight. The next lap moved a little lower, and he could hear the big beast. He'd swear the thing was purring as it cleaned up all the chocolate. As the tongue found his crotch, Stitch starts to moan and squirm. It's been a long time since anything touched him there. The humans seem to have all sorts of hang-ups about that. He moans as the continued lapping gives rise to a problem. His slit parts and a rather substantial member begins to peek free. Discovering the new obstruction, Toothless gives it a lick, wondering if it tastes sweet too. He smacks his lips, trying to separate out the new taste from the old. The pink thing started to poke into view. Doesn't taste bad, he decides. A little musky, but not bad. He starts back into his task since there is plenty of chocolate. There's plenty of chocolate ground into the furs around his balls. Stitch's eyes cross, feeling that big tongue rooting around his nuts. After so long, it's just too much for an alien to take. He's about to spring forward and find something to do with his dick when a scaled paw unceremoniously rolls him over onto his belly. Stitch's moans grow even louder as the tongue works at the half-melted squares of chocolate he sat on, slurping at each cheek in turn, before diving right between them, probing that pink little pucker in search of buried treasure. The moaning little alien lets two paws slip into his cock, madly stroking as one branch of the forked tongue stretches him wide open, and the other one to tickle the base of his nuts. With a grunt, the blue-balled little critter squeezes hard, coming into the grass with a flurry of paws. With a snort, the black dragon pulls back, looking over the thing. It seemed he'd gotten every bit of this tasty stuff on the little groundling. He wondered if there's more. Forgetting all about the alien, he snuffles at the ground. The dragon grins as he comes across the remains of the candy bars and their wrappers. While most had gone all over Stitch, there was still quite a bit of good stuff caked on the tinfoil-lined wrappers. The alien looks over his shoulder, seeing the beast is now leaving him be. It has its back to him now, like he's no longer important. The alien growls softly. He won't be ignored, not by everyone. He'd make that thing pay attention to him one way or another. He stumbles over to where the dragon seemed entranced by the remains of the candy that Stitch had brought with him. The big beast doesn't seem to notice when little blue arms start to probe his backside. He finds the vertical slit through and delicate little paws reach out, and gently tug the dragon's full length. As the massive length of slick, cherry red maleness slips into view, the little alien takes a deep breath. Igalagu! He gasps out in awe, almost reverentially. He reaches out, two hands stroking the massive length before his big wet tongue lashes out, slurping along the underside for a taste. Toothless jumps at the strange hands on his backside. He doesn't feel the thing could hurt him there. He snorts loudly, though his paws grip him intimately and pull his knotty bits out into the open air. This could be very bad, thinks the dragon as he peers between his legs. Before he can do anything, however, the stroking paws make him shiver, and the lick just makes him lightheaded. As the little thing slurps up along the length of his dragon dong, the black-scaled monster goes weak in his knees, all four of them. He never felt anything like this before. The young dragon flops onto his side, rolling onto his back, his ruby-red members standing out among the blackness of his scales. He looks over at the alien, his eyes pleading for him to continue. Stitch smiles, knowing the creature likes this game now. He clambers up onto the dragon's stomach, all four of his paws stroking the dragon's penis, fingers exploring the shape, each hand tracing a different vein in the pulsing length of meat. The blue experiment wonders what it would taste like in the end. He opens his maw and brings his lips down around the pointed tip. Stitch suckles gently before kneeling down on the beast's belly. He strokes the monster cock from base to tip, even as he tries to make more of the great thing, pushing his lips down until he can feel the member licking his tickling his throat. God. The dragon whimpers softly. This felt too good to be real. He'd never imagined that such pleasures could come from his cock. He'd have to show a horror cow later. Horror cow? What the fuck? Maybe even let the other dragon play with the blue creature. Toothless's eyes settle on the blue-furred little rump that seems to be swaying right before his face. It's the sight of the little pink length of flesh that stirs him into action, though. His head moves forward, his tongue flickering out to once more slurp at the protruding piece of meat. As that wide tongue catches not only the cock, but tightly packed little balls, as well as the blue-furred butt. The dragon grins to hear a strangled yelp from the thing that's trying to engulf his manhood. Stitch whimpers softly as a fork of that tongue squirms up his ass. Damn, this thing was a quick study. Reluctantly, the little blue creature steps away from the mammoth member, and that titillating tongue. He circles around until he finds the second small opening. He looks down at the tight pucker and at his own erection, which had maintained readiness. He pouts, thinking that the big reptile wouldn't be satisfied that way. He thinks about it before bending down, licking the big monster's anus. This gets a snort from the dragon. It's a totally new sensation for Toothless. It seems this blue thing is a veritable font of wisdom. It tickles a bit. It's not a bad tickle, so he settles down, almost purring from his attentions. The alien's tongue slurps along the pucker's opening, teasing the powerful muscles as he thinks. He lays down along the creature's black belly, both right paws gripping the big ridged shaft. One of his left paws, those relentless little fingers, gently tease the anal opening, pressing into the split, thick, slick pathways, tenderly teasing the powerful muscles as he pushes in. While this happens, he leans to the right, letting the tongue lash out along the length of cherry wood, both paws stroking it firmly. Oh, God. The black dragon's eyes cross as he feels something going inside him. That's not supposed to happen. He's pretty sure of it. Then the tongue touches him, and those paws seem to calm him down. It doesn't seem so different from grooming, he muses, only to start again as the limb pushes its way in deeper and deeper. Stitch almost curls his body around the dragon's monolith. He can feel the beast dripping into his fur, his own cock rubbing the base of the dragon's shaft. He can feel every pulse now. He pushes his finger in deeper, searching until they find what he's looking for. The gentle strokes, the protrusion, all getting a contented purr from the dragon. But when his fingers press in harder, the big boy really takes notice. The creature moans as that kneads his prostate like bread dough. The little alien rocks himself, his cock sliding along the warm dragon's scales, feeling the fire in the beast's belly, even as his ministrations coax forth another sort of eruption. Toothless whimpers and gasps. This is definitely not like grooming. He moans out in pleasure, not knowing if there is anything else to expect. He's never felt anything remotely like this before, but something primal seems to tell him there is more to come as he feels something else welling up inside him. Knob starts to form on his cock, and the base of the dragon meat swelling up as a knot forms, pressing into the alien's belly, giving him something to thrust between as he moans out in pleasure. The big dragon doesn't seem to notice, though, as he shudders, tail lashing out wildly with a roar that the dragon climaxes, showering them both with a white rain of sticky, warm dragon seed. Oh, God. For a moment, Stitch doesn't even notice the climaxing dragon, lost in the bliss of his own orgasm as he sprayed across the black beast's belly scales. Moments later, though, his mere handful of splooge is swamped with that looks like gallons of dragon jizz. With a moan that he pulls his arm free before lapping his way up the reptile's member once more, this time slurping up as much of the salty dragon's secretions as he can manage. It only seems fair. After all, hadn't the beast eaten all of his chocolate? He should get as much cream as he can handle. After a good 5 minutes of licking, the dragon is nowhere near clean, but the little blue alien is full. With a contented grunt, he rolls off the beast and onto his belly. Toothless is in the meantime, shuffles up to his feet. He cranes his neck around, sniffling at what the blue thing did. It felt good, even when the blue thing stuck something up his butt. And it felt good when he'd had his penis inside the blue thing's mouth. His member still seems rock hard as he waddles over to the little blue alien. He looks down at the little form resting there on a full belly. The thought that it felt good to have his cock inside something keeps running through the dragon's mind as he looks down at the blue creature with a smile as he stands over the thing. The little blue alien is almost ready to doze off when he feels the shadow fall across him. His eyes go wide as he feels something pressing into him. Stitch squeaks. He wouldn't be trying to... Naga! He shouts as he tries to crawl away, but strong black forelegs stop him, and he feels that still slick prick pressing into him from behind. It's a good thing he was designed to be nearly indestructible, because with something that was normally his size, it would be painful indeed. But as it is, the blizzard's pointed cock tip manages to stretch him wide open. The creature squeals softly. It's not painful, but it's not comfortable right now, that's for sure. He moans at the big beast goes even deeper. Toothless groans softly. Oh, he was so right. This does feel good. He wants to push in more, but the little creature seems resistant. He wonders what he could do to get more in, and a wicked little idea comes into the dragon's head. He shimmies his tight little butt, crouching down and unfurling his wings. Before the alien knows what's happening, there is a loud whump, and the pair are airborne, Stitch gripped tightly to the dragon's belly. The surge from the takeoff, managing to eke a few more inches into that tight little orifice. God. The beast lets his forepaw grit the creature gently by the shoulders, while half the dragon's cock buried in his anus keeps his rear end pinned. The alien whimpers even more now, not just from the dragon's violation, but the fact that he's flying them out over the sea. Toothless climbs up high, letting gravity slow him until he hits the peak of his arc. The young black dragon then tucks his wings in and dives towards the sea. At the last moment, he catches himself pulling up from the dive. As he does, the alien shouts, fearful of crashing, loosening his sphincter enough that as the dragon pulls out of the dive, momentum and gravity manage to work him in a little deeper. Toothless moans and starts a series of quick dives, letting gravity pull the creature forward on the way down, only to have it reverse and slam him down a little harder. As they worked their way up, the dragon flies in a wave pattern across the bay. He can feel it again, that pressure building up in his belly. It just feels so good inside. Another thing. Oh, he can't wait to show the other dragons. Stitch, for his part, has gotten used to it. The roller coaster ride, frightening at first, but started to feel good. It's an added thrill, this feeling of being buggered with the wind screaming past your face. The feeling of that massive cock grinding down on his prostate doesn't hurt either. He moans as they swing up again, pushing down. He can feel the dragon's knobs resting against his butt now, his little cock hard once more, and he wonders if he'll be able to come this time without even touching it. The dragon knows he's almost there, but he knows he just needs a little bit more. Toothless rises up, rolling onto his back at the peak. This time it's not a head dive down. The dragon drops like a rock, and with the last jerk of his wings, he stopped the downward plunge. That sudden stop is all he needs. With a shout, the blue creature slams down onto the dragon's knot. It's a lot to take in, but he manages. The sudden jerk causes him to slip over the edge one last time, and the alien spends his orgasm, sprinkling seed all over the foaming waves. Toothless, though, roars and moans as he floods the tight little cock warmer that now hangs limply from his groin. Hot dragon splooge flooding his anus now to a second load to match the one riding in the creature's belly. He murs softly, winging back towards the island. He can't wait to show the other dragons the stuff he'd learned, but he thinks he'll keep this little blue thing for himself. No need to share something this much fun just yet. The black dragon spots a high ledge overgrown with tall grass and swoops down. As he steps onto the ledge, he feels the knobs go down, letting the blue creature slide free with a wet slurp. The little alien lays on the grass, leaking with white fluid from his rump. Toothless smiles and lays himself down, curling around his little blue toy. He purrs softly, letting his fire keep the alien warm. He lays his head onto Stitch, feeling a little possessive. The little alien opens one eye, looking up at the dragon with a sigh before petting its snout and snuggling into that warm, scaled belly.